Would I rather be feared or loved? Easy. Both. I want people to fear how much they love me. That is a quote from Michael Gary Scott, the popular protagonist from the show The Office. The Office is a comedy sitcom show that ran on NBC from 2005 through 2013. Now, if you have not watched it by now, you definitely should try it. Are you suffering from any form of depression? Ditch those pills and instead binge watch The Office. Even 16 years later, this show still does not hesitate to make me laugh a ton and make me feel better. I am very qualified to talk about The Office since I have seen the entire series from start to finish at least 15 times. I got into the show after watching Steve Carell's 40-Year-Old Virgin in 2005, and he headlines the show The Office seasons 1 through 7, and in my opinion, I think he's really the heart of the show. Me, my wife, and kids quote The Office every single day. With my family, we've seen the entire series 5 times. Thank you, Netflix. When it released in 2006, I bought and binged season 1 way back then. And to see children, this is what we did back in olden times. We bought DVDs. We watched them on a DVD player. Also, back then, season 2 was the latest season available, and so it was streaming on NBC.com. So I actually got a chance to catch up to that season with a dramatic finale. So no spoilers. So check that out. So I was all caught up by 2006, and so since then, I made sure to watch every single episode when it aired. I actually organized my work schedule around the show. I personally own seasons 1 through 6 on Blu-ray, and since it left Netflix, I bought the digital copy on Vudu. Now, in my speech, I will first discuss what The Office is. Afterward, I will discuss how The Office can have a very positive effect on your daily life. And lastly, I will explain how and where you can stream The Office or purchase The Office. Sound good? Okay. Let's get started. So, The Office is a sitcom that was filmed mockumentary style with the intention to showcase what it's like in the daily routine of the American workplace, the office. So, picture a desk, chairs, computers, accountants, salespeople, water cooler, and of course, a receptionist. So, The Office would air its first season in spring of 2005. Showrunners intended to adapt the original British version, which was a hit in the UK, to an American audience. Patriarch showrunner and the person responsible for assembling the team that would produce the US version is called Greg Daniels. Now, in fact, you may recognize this name as Greg Daniels is actually a long-standing writer for Saturday Night Live and The Simpsons back in the 80s and 90s. In an article titled The Office Turns 15, published online in 2020 by usatoday.com, Kelly Lawler writes that in the midst of a global pandemic that has much of the country at home streaming, it's not hard to see the lasting appeal of The Office. Kelly Lawler is a known TV critic who spends her time watching and writing about TV for USA Today. This leads me right into my second point. The Office can have an incredibly positive effect on your daily life. We've all had a buffoon boss at one time or another, right? Or is it just me? Has anyone ever fallen in love in the workplace? Ask my wife. I know for sure we can all relate to having relationships with fellow coworkers, correct? So this show, The Office, is 80% dark humor and 20% heart. So if you decide to give this show a chance, that is what you will find keeps luring you back in to watch again. So the characters, awkward glances to the camera, and the funniest character on TV ever, Michael Scott, played by the fantastic Steve Carell, makes this show a must-watch and a pleasurable watch. I can easily say it's me and my wife's favorite show of all time. In fact, the love for this show is what brought us together initially. Um, our 10-year-old asks to have the show put on daily. Ed Helms, Idris Elba, Timothy Olyphant, and Will Ferrell have memorable moments in The Office worth checking out. Now, you must also realize that The Office has generated a cult following thanks to its time on Netflix. So during the pandemic, its popularity grew again, this time to a new generation that binge watches TV like they're running out of Tide Pods. Continuing along to my third point, I will tell you where you can purchase or stream The Office for your viewing pleasure. This video is not sponsored by Vudu, but I will continue to sing their praises. When I realized The Office was leaving Netflix, I had to secure a plan, so I bought the digital copy on Vudu, a platform which works like Netflix, where you mostly buy things, but it's really a good library to catalog all your digital copies. You keep all your movies there. It's great. Now, if you look on the Vudu platform now, you can purchase The Office for $99, which means that if you get it there, you can stream it on all your devices. It is also available on the NBC streaming platform called Peacock, but I do not recommend Peacock since even Peacock Premium has commercials, whereas if you purchase from Vudu, you do not have commercials. Now, if digital is not your thing and you prefer the hard copy, you can find the entire series on Blu-ray at Amazon or at Target. You can buy it online for $107, free shipping. If you have absolutely no interest in the show, I ask of you this one thing. Find and watch the episode titled Dinner Party. It's in season 4. So Rolling Stone published an article online called That One Night, the Oral History of the Greatest Office Episode Ever. Now this was in 2018. Andy Green writes that the episode Dinner Party is the best half hour ever and perhaps the best comedic episode of the decade. Big statement. Green is a senior writer for Rolling Stone and the author of The Office in Oral History. So today, we briefly discuss what The Office is. Afterward, I explain how it can have a positive effect on your daily life. And finally, I lectured on how you can stream or purchase The Office for your enjoyment. So in conclusion, this show always seems to leave me smiling and satisfied. That's what she said. Or he said.